of United Laguna Hills Mutual. Some of you may have seen that or been there in person over at Clubhouse number 3. We brought that to you live yesterday with a replay yesterday evening, and there'll be one more replay coming up, 2 more replays coming up. One will be tomorrow, Thursday at 1:30, and then the final replay 1 week from today, next Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. Well, joining us today, 2 of the players in yesterday's program, and they now have a little more work on their plate. Joining us today is Roger Turner, the new president of United Mutual. Roger, welcome back to you.
Thank you.
And Catherine Bryans is with us today as well. Catherine, thank you. First vice president. Of course, your claim to fame here is selling Ken his barbecue. So he's always happy to talk about that as well, because Ken's our food expert here at Channel 6. So the year ahead for United, some of the challenges you folks face, some of the things you'll be dealing with?
Well, I can talk about that. I thought first I would just recap
Surely.
who the new
that would be fine.
The new officers are. Well, thank you. Yes, I had the honor to be elected the president. Catherine, next to me here, is the first vice president. Catherine has been very active on the board, I think, as our members know. She's been chairman of the M&C committee. She's been recently leading this paint committee, which is dealing with the new colors in the community. And one other thing, she serves on the landscape committee and the GRF security committee, and I don't know, there's probably more.
Lots of work.
Anyway, Phil Duran is the second vice president, who's one of our new board members. Charles Hammer is the secretary. Charles has been currently the vice chair of the landscape committee. He serves on the M&C committee and other committees, and I don't have the list here, but Charles has been very active on the board. And for the treasurer, once again this year, our treasurer is Mary Stone. She was treasurer, of course, this year and will be treasurer next year. And of course, Mary has been very active in many of the duties. Regarding next year, I was requested to make a statement to the Globe, so I trust there will probably be a few words someplace in the Globe that you might find about what I said. But essentially, the first thing I said was that the basic challenge is going to be continuity. And I don't mean that as, you know, kind of a cop-out, if you will. There's really a lot to that. What I really mean is we've got to watch our budget. Our 2013 budget has been established, and it is what we will work with this next year and make every effort to stay within that budget so we can have a good end of the year report to our members as we did this year. But it means watching the maintenance of our manors. There's so many things. We are almost surprised every month that some new thing that comes up that is important that we take care of. So watching the maintenance is very important. The landscape as well. The landscape doesn't have quite as many surprises as what the maintenance of the manors does, but it is still a very important part. Anyone you ever talk to about that's been in this place, the first comment they make is about the landscape of our village. There's another thing that's in a little different vein, and that's the disciplining. You know, when you live in a village like this with many other people in closer quarters than what you're typically used to, and it's not your private home anymore, you know, with your own yard and everything, well, there are a lot of rules. And it's not that we want rules, but rather we end up with rules because people don't act in the interest of their neighbors all the time, and so there are a lot of rules, and every month we have to deal with these things, and so that's what I mean by disciplining. We try and keep things on track because what it means is that it's part of the quality of life for everybody that lives here, okay? There are legal challenges. You know, increasingly, every month it seems we learn about some new law from some place that we had nothing to do with, but is there, and we must be aware of it. It is, of course, one of the things that drove us to try and present to the members these changes so that we would be strong legally in defending anything for our corporation. Anyway, at the same time, I'll just make a closing statement, if I may. It is also very important that we move ahead. You know, we would like to see new things done this year and get started in ways that will improve our village. At the same time I say that, I will say we want to move in a measured way. We think that things like we have done, some of the things we've done before, like in pilot projects, are a good way to go. They are very measured, they are not large, they are physically able for people to see and see whether they like it. They give us an accurate response about the cost, the difficulty, the other things that come involved. And anyway, we hope that we will move ahead on those things, and we will continue some of the other projects that we have.
Good.
But there's more to talk about.
Well, let's get Catherine involved if we can a little
yes,
bit here.
That's why
because
I'd like
they're giving me countdown time signals, so we don't have
I'd like to pass it to
a
Catherine.
lot of time. Thank you for being willing to do that. So you've been a part of some of those new innovative things. The paint color, for one.
Exactly.
You know, we think of the song "The Look of Love." The look of sellability is what we're
Right.
talking about, really. Signage changes as projects are going along. You're trying some new things. The paver look has been discussed. You have the ongoing lighting issue, which continues to be an ongoing technical and economic issue. But you've also got these little green areas, these non-grass areas, I guess we'd call them, little areas with benches perhaps and
Right.
trees and rocks and
Yeah,
other
like
than green
gathering
grass.
gardens.
Which,
Yep.
which is going to save some water and hopefully eventually save some money as well. So a lot of projects. And
A
I'm
lot
sure
of projects, things coming up, ongoing. I think that it's important for the board this year to sort of stop inventing new things and work with what we have and focusing on the maintenance issues, because those are large, living large. But one of the most important things right now is there is a ballot out,
Yes.
which is the proposed amendment to only the occupancy agreement. And I have a lot of stuff I could read here, but the truth is, we need to be legally covered. That is why we're asking. That occupancy agreement is the primary agreement that a court looks at. And we've been doing it, and everybody wants it to stay, but we just want this community's authority to know that we are legally able to do what we do.
And that we're talking about is maintaining the countertops and the appliances in
and
the
some
homes in
some
United.
services.
In United, and
Right.
while this is, as you say, continued on for a number of years, you need to have it in writing.
It
needs to
wasn't
be.
right.
It needs to be official. And I think this puts aside all the other arguments from the August ballot
Every
and
one
the
of them.
discussions that went on and the in-depth and the other issues that came up as part of that, which really weren't part of it, but became kind of a sidetrack issue there. So this is a single issue. People have till the end of this month to vote. They can mail them in or bring them down here to the community center.
We need a yes vote.
And you need a yes vote on that to continue to replace refrigerators and countertops and some of those things.
This is a very important thing. It should be a slam dunk for people, really, because everybody wants to continue the maintenance that we've had
Right.
for years. It's strictly a legal wording thing, so please vote yes on this. And there's a flyer that we've prepared. The flyers are available at the corporate office here. They're available in the clubhouses. We've tried to post them every place. It states in very simple English what we are doing and why you should support it. So we very much ask for your support so we can continue this, because we don't want to change it.
Right. Well, a lot of people moved into United partly for that
expecting
reason, that
Oh,
there's
I-
maintenance and
I do.
services that aren't available in the rest of the
I
community.
think everybody in United is very happy to depend, to be able to pick up the phone, and of course, the cost is so much less than if you were to have to go out to individual contractors.
Right. So that vote is important, and again, the deadline is 5 o'clock on the 31st, but if you're gonna mail it in, get it in this week probably, and if not, bring it down here to the community center.
As fast as possible.
Right, and again, because of the outside counting, hands off from staff, hands off from the
Right.
board, we don't really know at this point even how many people have voted, much
That's-
less how they're gonna vote, so
That's correct.
it's important
So
that we get those in.
It's a part of the members' responsibility. When I talked about them getting involved in governance, this is getting involved. Voting is getting involved. We ought to have a high percentage of members that vote on this issue, not something like 30%, which we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Let's get it up to 75%.
I think we were in the 40% range on the recent election, the
Correct.
board member election, was it
45.
45, was it? Okay. Again, lots coming up in United. You're gonna continue the Friday segment, so we'll see somebody here on Friday. I think Mary Stone perhaps, but we're not sure.
No, we haven't made any decision
All right, we're
yet
waiting for the
regarding-
presidents to share
Thank-
with us.
Thank you very much.
We'll look forward to seeing somebody on Friday. Thank you both for joining us. I'm sure we'll be
Pleasure.
seeing both of you the next several months here on Channel 6 on those regular segments. Thanks for joining us. Remember, the replay will be tomorrow, Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon, and again, next Wednesday at 6 p.m., and that's the annual meeting of United Laguna Hills Mutual. We'll be back. More guests coming our way right after this.